Yo, what's up, guys? Sorry about all the technical difficulties. We are live now. We're going to be going over UFC, all the divisions, and also just open topics, open platform. We'll have a link for you guys if you want to come on, whatever it may be. But yeah, we had some bad weather last night. And that's what led to the live this morning not going as planned due to lines being down, things like that. But they got it all sorted out, ready to go. Sweezy, how'd you do through it? Fair, pretty good?
Yeah, I fared pretty well, man. Sorry.
Heck yeah. Now, the stream that we were just going over, we're going through the heavyweight division, Stipe Miocic. His looking at him as a champion, 22 total fights. He's got 19 wins, 3 losses. 15 of his wins were by knockout and 4 by decision. Now his losses, 2 were by KO and 1 was by decision. Of course, we know the 1 KO, or I'm pretty sure everybody knows the 1 KO with Daniel Cormier. And then after that, it was actually Stefan Struve that knocked him out, or it was a TKO. Junior Dos Santos fight that he lost was a decision. I don't know why, but I thought that was the other one. But yeah, looking down his career, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, just make sure you can still see me. What up, Chim Smoke? How you doing, bud? Thanks for coming back. Let's see here. But yeah, he's got Mark Hunt, Andre Arlovsky, Fabricio Werdum over him. He does have a win over Junior Dos Santos, and that was a TKO. That's the one I was thinking of, actually. He TKO'd Junior. But then he won against Ngannou, lost Daniel Cormier, and then he won against Daniel Cormier. Good that he avenged his KO loss by a TKO loss. If it would have been a decision, I think a lot of people would have, kind of griped over it or whatnot. But yeah, do you have anything you want to add on to that? And we can move on.
Looking at his record, man, his last win since like Mark Hunt up. Shit, you could even go down to Roy Nelson if you want to, because Gabriel Gonzaga and Fabio Maldonado. I remember when he knocked out Fabio Maldonado.
Yeah,
that was quick as hell. But like his resume is pretty stacked, man.
Yeah.
He's
Oh no. Yeah.
The division.
Yeah. Exactly.
Is a badass dude. Like just his last 3 wins, or 4. Alistair Overeem, Junior Dos Santos, Francis Ngannou, Daniel Cormier. That's shit. If he had Cain Velasquez in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stipe Miocic deserves the hype.
All right. So and this is a question that everybody kind of wants to know. I know a lot of people aren't really big on him right now, just due to some of the mistakes he's had. How do you feel about John Jones in the heavyweight division? Do you think he survives? What do you think?
Man, to be honest, I really don't know. It's like with his last couple of wins and his last couple of showings, even though he hasn't been dominated, I don't know if I see this Jones right now coming in and dominating in that heavyweight division unless he has some serious motivation. I don't see John Jones that fought Dominic Reyes coming in there and putting on an awesome display against Francis Ngannou. Or the one that fought. But, I don't know, man. John Jones is a really talented dude. And the only person that's ever beat John Jones is John Jones. So
yeah, that's 100% right. John Jones is obviously one of my favorite fighters. I know a lot of people get upset, when you try and defend him or whatnot. But yeah, not only has John Jones the only person that's beaten John Jones, that's actually literally and like hypothetically, like outside of the ring and whatnot, because John Jones lost his only fight by a well, it was an illegal blow, correct?
Yeah, it was a 12-6 elbow.
Exactly. So the only fight that he lost, he was beating the shit out of dude and actually accidentally landed an illegal blow. But yeah, I mean, even after that fight, Dana White was like, John Jones won that fight, but he's got a lot to learn. That's one thing people don't realize about John Jones. John Jones was kind of like Deontay Wilder in boxing when he first came in. Like everybody was saying, like, oh, he's wild. He'll never make it in this sport. He's not. He's not as polished and trained. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember John Jones ever getting because I remember him coming in and being a lot bigger than
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah. Well, he was a lot. Yeah, like his whole his frame was a lot like longer than most light heavyweights. But yeah, that was when he first came in. That's what like a lot of people were. Even the commentators, they were griping about like, oh, he's just wild. It's going to come to an end soon. And then, next thing you know, he's knocking out Ryan Bader, who at the time was, a badass motherfucker. But yeah, so Jones at heavyweight, I think he has a lot of success. I do believe that he could make the move, but every time that anybody's asked him about it or wanted to know if he would be interested in doing so, he quickly says no. I want to be remembered as the king of light heavyweight, and nobody can ever say that like somebody was better or whatever it may be.
Well, he has expressed interest in moving up to heavyweight a couple of times.
For Daniel Cormier.
Well, no, just kind of like teasing it, throw it in the water, saying it in tweets, maybe saying it in an interview, but he's never seriously committed.
Yeah.
I think he posted a tweet, I guess it was a year ago now, to where he says, you guys are gonna like love my next opponent, or wait to see who I'm fighting next. And he was supposed to be announcing that he was fighting Stipe, but that ended up falling through, and he ended up defending against Dominic Reyes, or maybe it was even Anthony Smith.
Yeah. The Anthony Smith fight, I mean, that was a complete disaster for Anthony Smith. He came in, he acted like he wanted to make a name for himself, that he was the next thing, that it was going to, he was just going to be that much better. It didn't turn out to be that way, though. He actually he had a lot of stuff to work on, and John Jones, it pretty much exposed him for that. Now the Dominic Reyes fight, that was a badass fight.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that fight was action packed. Me and you have had conversations about this. A lot of people say Dominic Reyes won the fight. Now Dominic Reyes won the first 2 rounds, I would say, clearly. Now the last 3, or maybe, yeah, I think it was the first 2 rounds, Reyes definitely won, but the last 3, and especially 4, you could, put as a coin flip to John Jones. But I mean, even if you say that Reyes, kind of slightly edged Jones, when it comes to John Jones as a champion, or any champion, my view on it is, if you want to come for the king, if you want to take him out, you want to take his land, you want to take what's his, you got to kill him. You got to leave without a shadow of a doubt to all of his people, all of his followers, that you are the best. And it's not, there's no question like, oh, you slightly edged him. No, if you want the title, you gotta really prove it. And, Reyes fought his, heart out, but at the same time, you got to knock John Jones out, or you have to pretty much ground and pound him the whole time, and he doesn't land very much at all. But Jones started teeing off late, he's a phenomenal athlete, and I don't know that anybody will ever beat him. And if there is anybody to beat him, like you said, it's going to be himself. But how'd you feel about the Reyes fight? Did you like it? Who do you think won?
Reyes won the first two convincingly. Um, the you could say won the third, and that's where he would win the fight. But the third, fourth, and fifth were all pretty much too close to count. You could even say that, like the fourth round could go in Reyes' favor as well. But John Jones at the same time always was moving forward with pressure. He didn't land as big as Dominic the whole time, but he did have his moments of success, and he was never really dominated at all whatsoever. Now, in a perfect world, I think Dominic Reyes would have got the decision, but it wasn't a convincing enough beating, which, sad to say, is you're completely right. There's John Jones wasn't dominated, he wasn't fully beaten, so he gets to keep his title. And you could possibly argue that those rounds could have gone either way, especially towards the end.
Yeah. Now, I completely agree with you. You gotta be more convincing with your victory. Now, Reyes is probably going to run the light heavyweight division, depending on what happens with this whole Jones recent DUI. I guess, are they going to suspend Jones, or what's going on with that?
I don't know. I don't think they haven't really said anything about it since coronavirus been going on. So, but it doesn't look like any punishment's gonna be put down anytime soon.
Yeah,
I think Dana White's trying to figure out how to schedule these fights and get these fights going.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Dana White, he's already announced when the next card's going to be, or where it's going to be, what's going to happen. Do we trust this new statement on it, or how do you feel about that? Again, he promised the island, or the private island. He never did give a location, but he came out saying that, we're going to do it on a private island. Everything's going to be safe. We have structures being built. All that. But, then the week before the fight, they end up, saying, no, we can't do it because of Corona or whatnot. And I think I didn't like that because of what it did to the fighters. These guys are going through training camp. They're making commitments. They're cutting weight, a week before the fight. I mean, my God, it's like one of the hardest times. And for them to sit there and lead them on only to, eventually cancel it. I wish they would have canceled it earlier. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, when it comes to it happening on May 9th, like said, I'm a hopeful person. So hopefully it happens. But, with the world that we're living in today, man, I'm not gonna expect things to go down, because anything can happen, man. But I can say without a doubt that some shit's gonna go down eventually, and that he's not gonna be building this private fight island for nothing, and that it is gonna come in handy. As far as fighters, fighting on this, the only thing I got to say is, I don't think, Dana White was trying to get this done, and he was no matter what, let's gonna have this fight, and he thought it was gonna happen, and that's why he was telling everybody, and everybody was like, this is gonna go down. Like Samuel Shaw said, they called Dana White a couple days before and said, yeah, where ESPN, top of ESPN, Samuel Shaw said this, ESPN and Disney called from the highest level and said, yo, man, no fight island, no nothing. This coronavirus shit is just too crazy. Got to maintain social distance.
Yeah.
So, like we're on lockdown here till the 30th of April. I don't know. I haven't read any news today, but they're gonna be extending it. Hopefully not. But
I know that school is going to be canceled
yeah.
through the end of the year for sure. But as far as the lockdown goes, I don't know what they're going to do in Florida. I mean, they're opening beaches now, so it's kind of I don't know. It's kind of mind boggling with you got your scientists saying like, oh, we need to continue to shut it down. We've only been shut down for what 20 days now. Total. Well, other places have been shut down way longer, but I don't know. I don't know enough about, the topic to be able to make like an honest opinion on it. But I don't know. I just think that Florida always rushes into things and ends up, getting, screwed in the end, or, the people of Florida do. But whatever. We'll move on from that. We'll continue on with the UFC. All right, let's go down to the light heavyweight division. Light heavyweight division, still going to be our boy John Jones as the champion. But like we were just talking about, he may be stripped. We don't know what's going to happen. Dana White hasn't, released anything. I guess you got to wait on what happens in court and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's pretty clear. There's a video out of him, intoxicated and doing the field sobriety test. So we'll have to figure out what's going on with John Jones. But let's go ahead and talk about John Jones because he deserves it. I know he's made bad choices, but at the end of the day, this man has dominated the entire division. Now, a lot of people get butthurt when I say this, but the big difference when you look at now you can't say all, but the majority of UFC champions, when you look at their champions and you look at their resume, you're gonna understand why they're a champion. You're gonna look at the names. You're gonna be like, holy shit, he fought him when he was this young, this whatever. They're gonna fight everyone that's at the top of the rankings, no matter what. Like you can't just jump from 12 to 1. You've got to work your way up. So John Jones' record in general is it's astounding to look at. Go ahead and you can go off on that, Cameron. I know you got a lot to say.
Well, when it comes to people jumping the rankings and getting favoritism in the UFC, it does happen sometimes. Conor McGregor got to do that, as well as Henry Cejudo is fighting Dominic Cruz, who hasn't fought in like 3 years since he lost the title to Cody Garbrandt. Before that, he was scheduled to fight Jose Aldo, who lost to Marlon Moraes, who Henry Cejudo just beat. So there is a little bit of favoritism with the littler guys. But when it comes to John Jones has fought pretty much all the badasses in light heavyweight.
Yeah, I mean, look
for generations.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you go from Stephan Bonar, 2 fights later, Brandon Vera. Then after he fights Vladimir, and then he goes and fights Ryan Bader. And at the time, Ryan Bader was looked invincible, and then John Jones really changed the game after that fight when he beat his ass. He made everybody realize that he's next level. Like he's just not. These guys in the division aren't on his level. Then takes out Rua. Then Rampage Jackson. Everybody knows that fight. That was an awesome battle, but destroys him. Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Chanel Sonnen, Alexander Gustafsson, Glover Teixeira, Daniel Cormier, Ovent St. Peru, Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson. And I'm going to stop there, but all those names that I just read were in order as, he was moving up and fighting in the ranks. And, all these guys that I just read were champion or fighting and in championship bouts. And, you know, it's kind of it's crazy to look at John Jones' record because, you know, he's probably got one of the best records, you know, ever to do it in the UFC. And then obviously after Gustafsson, he goes fights Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos. How did you feel about the Thiago Santos fight?
Well, the Thiago Santos fight, I thought John Jones, it was kind of like the Reyes fight in a way to where John Jones kind of robbed Thiago Santos in a way, and Thiago Santos blew out his knee, but still, you know, it's just robbed is kind of insulting John Jones, man. You know, because he just
what do you mean by robbed? Just out of curiosity.
It's just in the exchanges, even with the blown out knee, Thiago was winning. You know, each exchange he was winning a lot of those exchanges, and Jones powered back in the 4th and 5th rounds, but still at the end of the day there was just more exchanges. It felt like when you're watching it, won by Thiago, especially with like the commentary and shit, you know, first time watching it. It's just almost like Thiago won the fight, and then but it wasn't like a blowout domination, kind of like with Dominic Reyes. And like John Jones got off enough to where you're like, oh, okay. I mean, it's still kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say he robbed him, but it's
yeah. I wouldn't say robbed him. What I will say is, I think this was the first time we saw somebody make John Jones kind of look human. You know, Daniel Cormier was the only man that, you know, came remotely close to doing that. And, you know, you see how that went. You know, it ended
Gustafsson.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Gustafsson, the first Gustafsson fight was, oh, my God. That was probably, I'm going to go ahead and say one of the best fights the UFC's ever had.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Intangible? Thanks for coming by. I'm going to be, I don't know if the link's still there, but I'm new to StreamYard. I'm not sure how it works, but I will be posting links. If you want to jump on, you can come jump on, chop it up with us, stuff like that. But
going back to John Jones versus your boy Chanel Sonnen.
That's not my boy. Don't say that.
But
I literally cannot stand that guy at times. But go ahead. Sorry.
When John Jones was fighting him, he beat his ass in the first round. But at the end of it, Joe Rogan was like interviewing him, and John Jones like middle toe was like,
oh my God, I remember that. Oh my goodness, yes. Holy shit, it was turned sideways.
Yeah, if it would have went to the end of the round, Chael Sonnen would have won the title.
But that doesn't matter because didn't he like test positive like a week later for steroids?
Yeah.
So yeah, it wouldn't have mattered, but still, yeah, that was. And the best part about that was the announcer like having to tell him, and John Jones was just like, "Oh yeah, you know that stuff happens." You know, it's like what the fuck. But yeah, his big toe was turned sideways. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
that along with Anderson Silva's leg.
Oh my God, yes, that was after. Well, I won't say that. But yeah, Anderson, that's why you don't check knees for, you know, 10, 15 years of, you know, your career.
Yeah. Well, he fucked up his leg with a leg kick his last fight with Jared Cannonier.
Oh, really? I don't know that I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a break, was it?
I don't know if it was a break. Like, it wasn't nowhere near as gruesome as the one against Chris Weidman.
Yeah, looking like a whip. Made his leg look like it was a freaking, like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, yeah, dude, that was one of the craziest moments in MMA. But this last one, I think he just, like, popped a tendon or something in his knee.
Yeah. How do you feel about do you like Chanel Sonnen? I didn't know that. Is that your guy? I can't stand the guy, and I think, you know, he cheated pretty much his whole career. And you can almost tell just by how like high pitched his voice is. You know, even right now, he's probably still doing it. Yo, what's up, Boxing Monster? Coming through. But yeah, how do you feel about Chanel Sonnen and his career, everything like that?
Chanel Sonnen, which is Chael Sonnen, by the way. I just wanted to say that. But he's got like a whole YouTube channel to where he like breaks down fights and he like sits in his chair and he like talks about MMA, and then he's got a show with Ariel Helwani, and since he's done that, like him with like Michael Bisping and even Brendan Schaub, man, they kind of like a lot of MMA fighters have got their Josh Thompson's got one, but they have found success in like YouTube and podcasting and stuff like that. So actually nowadays I like Chael Sonnen a lot more because like he shows his like real side, and he's actually a pretty cool and well knowledgeable dude sometimes. He's not right all the time, but
yeah, no, that's true. When it comes to commentary and like you said, even his live, one of the best things about Sonnen is he'll sit there and he'll ask the hard questions to the fighters, and like he'll look them in the eyes, and you know that like he's ready to throw down at any moment, but only to probably get his ass whooped. But yeah, he's I don't know. He can be a little crazy though with some of the things that he says. But yeah, when it comes to John Jones, he's just he's the next level. It's the reason he's been the champion at the light heavyweight division for ever. And like I said, you look at his record, and there's so many great fighters, ex-champions on there that you understand why he gets so much respect. And I'm not gonna lie, whatever happens with his recent DUI, we're gonna I'm still gonna watch his fights. I'm still gonna support the guy, and it's just that's what you get being John Jones. But what about you? You gonna still watch him, or how do you feel about him?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna watch him. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Well, man.
Does anybody beat John Jones at light heavyweight right now, aside from Reyes?
Well, given John Jones' past history with rematches, let's take a look at Daniel Cormier. First one, he did kind of beat him decisively in a decision, no pun intended. But the second fight knocked him out in the third round. Go back a little bit further, we'll go to the first Gustafsson fight. A lot of people say he lost that one. Got carried out in a motherfucking stretcher. Second fight, John Jones comes along, and in the second Gustafsson fight, John Jones changed his name to last name Yass, first name whooped that ass, whooped Yass, to Alexander Gustafsson. Beat the living shit out of him, threw him to the ground, and ground and pounded him to death. Gustafsson in the second fight couldn't do anything to Jones. It was still kind of a boring fight up until the third round, kind of, because Gustafsson and Jones were just playing like a chess match. But given John Jones' proven history of rematches, if he can John Jones, then he'll be successful. I don't think anybody, John Jones at the top of his game, I don't think anybody's fucking with him.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think that I just don't see anybody being able to beat John Jones. But I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to add about that? Aside from Daniel Cormier, do you think Daniel Cormier ever comes back and tries to, or do you think maybe when John Jones gets stripped for his recent, DUI, do you think Daniel Cormier shows back up to fight Reyes, or do you want to see a Daniel Cormier versus Reyes fight?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing the rematch. I want to see John Jones get. I want to see if Reyes can prove or if Dominic Reyes is going to come through and whoop that ass.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think I'm still taking Dominic or not Dominic. I'm taking Daniel Cormier. I think Daniel Cormier can control Dominic's pressure better, but I'm not. I don't know. That's a hard one to tell. You know, Reyes' pressure and the amount of early aggression he has. It's hard. It's really hard to go against the guy. But who knows? Maybe I don't even know if actually Daniel Cormier is going to come down. But I just think when John Jones leaves, that's when Daniel Cormier wants to start fighting again.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Well, I don't know if Daniel Cormier is actually going to rematch Jones. I think it's going to be straight fucking Stipe Miocic and then out.
Yeah, Boxing Monster hates the UFC. He doesn't hate it. He actually knows quite a bit about it, but he doesn't like to say it out loud. But let's go and talk about another badass fight that is across two divisions that will eventually happen. There's a lot of bad blood in this one, and that's Israel Adesanya, who is the middleweight champion. I don't know how many people are familiar with the different weights in UFC. I know that a lot of the people that are here, or pretty much all the people that are here, are from a boxing channel. But the light heavyweight division, which is champion John Jones, is 205. At middleweight, it is 185, and that's Israel Adesanya. What's your thoughts on the middleweight champion, Sweezy?
Well, he's fought a lot in this past year and a half. But like he's even said, he's still got a little bit to prove. He's got to fight Paulo Costa before he comes up and fucks with with John Jones. But he knocked out the former middleweight champion Robert Whitaker. He beat Anderson Silva. He just beat Yoel Romero, which that was a pretty shitty fight.
Yeah, that was a terrible fight. The Romero Adesanya fight, I expected it to be a lot more action packed, especially with all the build up before it. But it was, I mean, I don't know, that was hard to watch, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially because we had um those two chicks fight before that Chinese Zhang Wei Li and then Joanna.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely. I don't know. Dana White came out and he was like, "Oh well, Romero didn't do what he said he was going to do," and I do agree with that. But at the same time, if that was John Jones, do you think Romero makes it out of the ring alive?
Um, I don't know, dude. Romero's a pretty badass motherfucker, and
Yeah, he is a badass motherfucker. But I'm telling you that if John Jones fought Romero, he would beat the living shit out of him.
yeah,
And Adesanya kind of ran around. But I think that Adesanya is also just really scared when it comes to getting knocked out. He got knocked out really early in his career, and that was, this whole week. I don't know if you've seen the back and forth between John Jones and him, but John Jones posted the picture of him being knocked out and receiving medical attention and stuff like that, and saying somebody wake him up. But what was the original start to that? Was that Israel saying I'm the best to do it and I'll eventually beat him? He said that at one point. What do you remember about that?
well, Adesanya has been kickboxing for years, dude. He was in this tournament one time to where he fought 4 dudes in a night and beat the shit out of all of them. He was doing shit like that in Japan and China. He's only a couple years younger, I think 2 or 3 years younger than John Jones. But I'm pretty sure it was Adesanya who started talking shit, said he's going to come up and face Jones. And then, Jones said, uh, yo, motherfucker, try to come up here and I'll kick your ass. And then it just has been kind of like a pissing contest ever since then. But John Jones more than likely going to whoop that ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Adesanya, I just don't think Israel, I don't think he beats John Jones. I think he just prays that John Jones keeps messing up and eventually, I don't know, leaves the UFC because what is the height difference between the two?
I think like 1 or 2 inches. Hold on. I'd rather talk fish tank talk with Tim Dubb.
Yeah, that's he. You're not familiar with all these guys, but he's being funny. It's like a running joke. He's big on boxing. A lot of these guys are huge on boxing, and when it comes to like boxing, they look at UFC as like, I don't know, the little sister. I don't know if that's a good way to put it.
Well,
But yeah, what's even crazier,
or
Cam,
some shit?
is he say that again?
Does he want some facts on some goldfish? Maybe I could teach him how to import a shark.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to do all that, but what I thought was interesting is that I guess Boxing Monster announced that he's a part of J4. I'm not sure when that happened, but it's good to see. It's good to see the unity during Corona. That's the main thing. He said that you're getting upset too. That's hilarious. But oh God, I guess you made him leave. No, I'm just kidding. He's probably gonna come back and spit some bars or whatnot for that. Yo, what happened?
I have no idea. I guess it just like timed out or something. I have no idea. But
Oh,
I'm
okay,
back
okay. Yeah. I was just Boxing Monster was making sure you weren't getting upset or anything like that.
Yeah, man, I got super upset. I had to exit out and I cried for a second, but I'm getting over it, man.
Yeah, getting better slowly, day by day. Like I said, anybody in the chat, if you want to jump on, we are going to break down, all of the divisions. It's going to be, a long stream, but we're going to break down all the divisions, and then we're also we're going to have open topics. So when Boxing Monster said, I'd rather talk, fish tank talk, we can do that. Don't
Yeah,
help.
we can do it. We could. Hey, you can tell me about 5 gallons, 10 gallons. Some special glass so it don't break.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. We might you might get a little bit of 5 gallon or 10 gallon. So at middleweight with Israel Adesanya as the champion, he has one title defense. Who does he fight next?
He fights Paulo Costa.
Okay. That's gonna, dude. I don't know. That's a tough one to call, man.
All I know is that dude's fucking insanely fucking like Terminator like, and he's going.
You talking about Acosta?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a warrior, man. I really like watching him fight. Now Stylebender, he's pretty insane as well, but I don't know. I think Acosta kind of has more of a a frame for punishment. So maybe he'll be able to bully him in when he's trying to tee off. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. No, what's more than likely,
Yeah, they're saying that you're this guy right here, Intangible. It says that you sound like him or your personality is like him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think these guys know who you are. So if you want to spit something to, gain a little respect, feel free to.
Well, I gotta do something for. I gotta put something in the chat. Can I add shit to the chat? How do I?
I'm not sure exactly, but
Well, I was looking up the best 15 fish tanks in 2020 for what is your favorite fish tank brand. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll give them a little something.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, by the way, I don't think I said this, but this channel for sure is UGC. I know there's a lot of, different sides right now or whatnot. UGC, those are my people, man. It's the reason, I'm doing this right now. It's also, just who I've been associated with like this whole time. I don't really know the other groups or anything like that, but you can come on here if you are, anybody else. It doesn't just have to be UGC or anything like that. I don't care, but those are those are my dogs. So I kind of let them. I don't know. They're the best boxing talk, and they get a bad rap from a lot of people that I guess get really caught up in it. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that. But yeah, Boxing Monster and the LDBC, they are always welcome to come by if they want to. That was a joke. Don't freak out. But yeah, go ahead, Sweezy.
I'm gonna throw it back a little bit for you, Jordan. Put me in a mental institution, 'cause I need help. I develop people skills in a room by myself. Still, I won't be classified as a victim of religion. Possibilities are endless, seen it like a premonition. Live to see another day. I'm lucky I could say it. This a shout out to the champs that went from nothing to the greatest. Man, we all want the same. Your company's contagious. Well, that's fuel to the fire when you're underestimated. Man, they ask me what's the word, I say it's something for the ages. Run for the hills, them ninjas coming to invade us. Done a lot of stupid things, I ain't jumping to explain them. And I say some crazy shit, well bitch, it's fucking entertaining. It's a uphill climb and a struggle with frustration. When you work your ass off but ain't done enough to make it, bad things happen. Then it all abruptly changes. It's a long trip trying to correct the stumbles in your paces. My good battles with the evil like it's friendly competition. I'm both at all times, I'm a living contradiction. Not fronting like it's rare, like it's limited edition. Just a big budget movie with an idiotic premise. Still trying to figure out if anybody's listening, or if I'm rapping at a wall on an endless instrumental. Patching up the wounds that my history's inflicted. It goes how it goes, you can't pity the statistics. It's gonna take some time when the vision is specific. Don't talk big plans in public, 'cause not many comprehend them. Make sure you know your shit when presenting your opinion, and be happy that you get to stay in livable conditions. Gotta get them in position when I spit it with conviction. Within a minute have them hooked like a chemical addiction. Keep some anger on my mind till I'm swimming with the fishes. But who am I to judge? 'Cause men invented this shit, and I'm difficult and vicious. Every sentence is explicit. I'm a dickhead with a vengeance that's been bent by inconsistent. Still really damn ambitious, but twisted and malicious. Didn't fit in as a kid 'cause I was mentally indifferent. Know that anything imprisoned eventually isn't, and others exist even when you're not interested in them. Positive shit isn't usually written in my lyrics. My only fucking job's create a stimulating image. My good battles with the evil like it's friendly competition. I'm both at all times, I'm a living contradiction. They never go together, it's an infinite collision that stretches way further than my minuscule existence. Pray for the fame, the fortune, the instant recognition. Still isn't enough to stop the pain of feeling insufficient. Do any type of drug to put my sickness in remission. Have the slow burn of accepting there's no remedy to fix it.
Yeah, man, that was badass. Heck yeah. Yeah, just a little something, just to let them know, I guess.
Yeah. I'll go off on a little bit. Some shit.
Heck yeah, we'll continue breaking down, and then when we get through this all, we can talk boxing, we can talk everything else as well if you want to, if you can stick around, stuff like that.
Yeah, I got all day.
Heck yeah. All right, well, let's go right into it. All right, so anybody else aside from Paulo Costa that we have moving to take out Israel Adesanya. I mean, Adesanya is going to eventually have to move up to light heavyweight to fight John Jones, because John Jones definitely is not coming down.
Well, you're forgetting a couple of people at middleweight that Adesanya can fight if everything goes well. Number one, Darren Till, because he's middleweight now. And then Jared Cannonier. But Paulo Costa, Jared Cannonier, Darren Till, he's already beat Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whitaker. Yeah, so if he does those, he'll be able to move up to light heavyweight.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, so let's move on to the welterweight division, where we have Kamaru Usman as the champion. He won the title after he defeated
Woodley.
Tyron Woodley, and he defended it. That's what I was thinking about, against Colby Covington. It's probably one of the most best fights that's happened recently. How did you feel about the Covington versus Usman fight?
Well, it was actually a super fucking badass fight, to be honest. Both of those dudes were wrestlers and stood in the pocket, but Colby Covington talks mad fucking shit. And he's just trying to sell, but Colby Covington's like a fucking, oh my god, man. Sometimes that shit gets a little bit old, but he's selling pay-per-views, I guess. He's a badass motherfucker, can't deny it. As far as beating Usman in a second fight, if he wouldn't have got knocked down in that fifth round, because going into the fifth round it was tied. It could have gone either way, but then he knocked him out, and that he got the best of him pretty much. But second fight, if Colby improves just a little bit, I think Colby could come through with a win. But Usman's on a tear, and Usman's probably gonna fight Masvidal next.
Yeah, Masvidal Usman would be an exciting fight. I like Masvidal a lot, but I don't know that he beats Usman. He had a spectacular finish against what's his name? That freaking wrestler, Ben Askren. But other than that, his career's been a lot of ups and downs. Now he did go on a tear, but he's a warrior. He goes all the way back to Kimbo Slice fights. I don't know if you guys know about that, but Kimbo Slice fights, he was on that. He's got a couple of fights on that, and that's like a street fighting YouTube based, or I don't know at the time where it was where you watch those fights, but he's a badass, and he's actually from the streets. He's not bullshitting with the way he acts or anything like that. He's worked really hard to get where he's at, but I don't know that he beats Usman. What do you think?
I don't know, man. Now Masvidal came back, knocked out Darren Till, 5-second flying knee to Ben Askren, then pretty much dominated Nate Diaz. Even though Nate Diaz does pick up in the later rounds, I don't think it would have went his way. So he's on a tear. He went before he fought Darren Till. He went on to this like reality show down in I forgot where it was, but he didn't have internet. He had to go into town for food, and it really separated him from everything else to where he could get in his own headspace. And then he comes back and starts kicking ass. So you never know, man. Some people get their prime a little bit later, even though he's in his 30s. It's success is a mind state, man. So you saw what Conor McGregor could do. Put Aldo out 13 seconds, then won the second title even after losing to Nate Diaz. You never know, Masvidal could pull it off. But the facts, being a man of statistics, if I was to be that, I would say Usman wrestle fucks him to death.
Yeah. I think that Usman is just I don't know. He's a lot better technique wise. He's got more. He's got a bigger arsenal that he can go to. Um, Now Usman, I think Usman. I'm a big fan of Tyron Woodley. I know a lot of people hate him. Don't think he's very entertaining, but I'd like to see Usman give Woodley the rematch, or even if Masvidal beats Usman, I think Tyron Woodley destroys Masvidal. What do you think about that?
You think Woodley destroys Masvidal or Usman destroys Masvidal?
No, I think I think both. I think that Woodley beats Masvidal, and I also think that Usman does as well.
I think Pride Woodley and Pride Usman do pull it off against Masvidal. I do have to say that. But if Masvidal comes in and he's on some Ben Askren, uh, Darren Till, Nate Diaz type ruthless mode, I think he can pull it off. I'm gonna have hope in George Masvidal.
I got you. I got you. Do you ever see possibly like a McGregor going up or a Khabib moving up to challenge Usman or any of these guys? I know Masvidal was really, really big on wanting, Khabib or McGregor, but what do you think that ever happens?
Back when McGregor was about to fight Floyd Mayweather, just put a little something in context. I saw like a bunch of memes going around. Like there was one where it was like a flyer for like um, this like fucking Olympic swimming, and it was McGregor versus Michael Phelps in a race in the pool, and then it was like McGregor versus Tiger Woods playing golf. With McGregor, I say that because with McGregor, you never know. Next month, it could be announced that McGregor is fighting Israel Adesanya for the super heavyweight belt, for the super heavyweight WBC belt, or he's fighting Anthony Joshua. You never fucking know with him. As far as him moving up right now, I think the best thing for Conor McGregor to do is fight Justin Gaethje, even though Tony Ferguson's fighting Justin Gaethje and shit. I just want to see really Khabib and Tony fight, and then McGregor and Gaethje fight, and then the winners of those fights.
Okay, so do you like Gaethje? I guess then, or do you think he's actually somebody that we need to respect? Because I don't think he's very good, to be honest.
Uh, I fucking love Gaethje. Gaethje's the shit, man. His every single one of his fights is fucking a classic, dude. Straight up. Uh,
Do you think Gaethje beats McGregor right now?
Connor came through with Cowboy and put his ass down in like 45 seconds, right? Um, if that Conor McGregor goes in there with Gaethje and straight lightning fast, because Gaethje's the type to like brawl and like get hit a lot, but kind of overwhelm. If McGregor comes in with the McGregor left hand, I think McGregor will put him down fast, and I think McGregor's style is kind of like tailored towards that, like really fucking fast start, really hard hit. Because if he connects with that chin, he's gonna put somebody down. And Gaethje gets hit a lot, but Gaethje's been on a tear,
One
man.
second,
If he can,
Boxing Monster, you didn't know Kimbo Slice was dead? Damn. Yeah, man. R.I.P. Kimbo, but yeah, man, he's been. I don't even know how long. It's got to be like freaking 4 years now, right?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah. Um, uh,
Yeah,
I think
16.
the
Yeah,
fight
June. Yeah,
before the fight he had right before that was the Dada 3000, wasn't it? It
yeah.
was
That
like the
was
worst fight ever, but
no, man. That was a classic, dog.
that was
That
not a
was
classic. That
that
was
was the
the
best
worst
fight I've
fight
ever
ever.
seen. But yeah, for the chat, for those wondering who Cam Sweezy is, I see up here that is Cam Sweezy an alternate personality? Both of these guys is Jordan. He's showing off his multiple personalities. Schizophrenia. That is true. I'm just an extension of Sporting Advantage and an artificial intelligence created to fuck with your minds. Actually, that's a lie. I've known Jordan for a long time. You want to? How long have we known each other now, Jordan?
I don't know. Let's see here. Let's go back to 07, 08 days.
Yeah, 08. Let's say 08.
Yeah, we've been working on this. I know, like I said, a lot of these guys, they've gotten like bits and pieces through like Jalik and, you know, other things like that. But no, we work together, and you know, the main focus is the music. But you know, we have these other channels and everything like that. So, you know, anytime that we have, you know, a chance to market, we're going to do that. But no, me and Cam Sweezy have been working together for a long time. You know, long car trips out to studios that, you know, end up to, you know, never really come through, and different things. And we eventually got all, you know, the equipment together. And, you know, I don't know if you've seen Jalik's, you know, interview with Cam Sweezy, but, you know, he went to school and got his associate. You go ahead and talk about that, actually. Go ahead.
Well, you know, back about 10 years ago. No, well, I can't say even 10 years. It's 2020. So, yeah, about 2008 when I started rapping. I rapped for a couple of years. I did some other shit too, but, you know, it got to a point to where, I mean, when I started, I sucked. But it got to a point to where, you know, I guess I for some reason, thought I should start taking it seriously. So, shit like that happened, but every time I try to go get a fucking producer, I just couldn't fucking get a fucking producer. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna start producing music myself. So started off, didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I just figured, yo, shit, might as well just go to school, learn how to produce beats my fucking self, and make my own music. So that's what I'm doing right now. Starting a couple little channels, going on live streams, you know, seeing what's up. Who else is in here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's up, 1-2 Kid? This is
What's up? What y'all doing? What y'all on about?
just breaking down a little UFC. This is a little UFC live. I was gonna do you know, some boxing and whatnot, but there's just so many streams. There's so many good streams as well that, you know, put a lot of work and a lot of effort into this. And you know, eventually everybody's gonna, you know, they'll all understand, you know, the plan or whatnot. But, you know, we're not gonna go too heavily into boxing with, you know, all these other good streams that are, you know, always posted and always going on. It's just competition. It's gonna breed like people disliking you because you're talking about something or whatever. But yeah, so we decided to just go ahead and have this little UFC/MMA live.
Nothing wrong with that.
Some open topics. You know, like you know, like Life. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, man? I'm kind of interested, intrigued. I love the logo.
Oh, thank you. I got a few of them. Yeah, man. I think everybody in the chat knows who I am because I'm UGC myself. Mm-hmm. I don't think that before I go on about myself, I don't think that you guys doing the UFC stuff is a bad thing at all. I think it's just an angle at taking on different subjects. You know what I mean? I enjoy watching the UFC also. I really was looking forward to that Khabib and Ferguson fight. I think I was rooting for El Kakui, but I guess that shit ain't happen.
Yeah, we didn't even go over that. I don't know how we skipped that, but yeah, man. I'm really big on Tony Ferguson as well. I think that he's just gonna put too much pressure on Khabib, and I know that's kind of crazy to say because Khabib is, you know, the pressure type fighter, but you know, you're not just gonna grab Tony's foot and drag him to the ground.
That's a fact.
He's gonna land some vicious elbows or what he calls like knives, you know, and you're gonna crumble. But Sweezy, what's your thought on that fight?
Well, he's also really good off his back too, you know. And he doesn't get tired very easily. Khabib like smothers and he might be able to get Tony down, especially at first when his energy's at peak. But Tony, if Tony's Tony, he's not gonna really slow down. And it's Khabib's biggest test, but it's also Tony's biggest test as well. And Tony's a beast, man. He just made weight for the fight that was canceled. He's
I just think that I think Tony's just got more attributes. Like he's better of an all around fighter. He can pressure you by moving backwards. He could pressure you when he's on his back. You're always in danger with him, whether he attempts to, get a submission on you or put combinations on you from his back, and then on his feet, he's extremely dangerous striker. So, I mean, I just think that he's just got more tangibles than Khabib, and Khabib can sometimes, even though he's pressuring you, he does fight in spurts. He just holds you in a certain place, and then when his energy comes back, he gets the second win. He just goes for the kill, and I mean that could hurt him against trying to pressure a guy like Tony Ferguson can. It's dangerous all the way around, whether you letting this guy get off or whether you're on top of him. It just
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And do you remember the Anthony Pettis Ferguson fight?
Yeah,
That was a war. That fight right there. That's that the amount of conditioning you have to do that type of that amount of work and get beat. Get so many landed, and I don't know. It was almost. I think it was fight of the night for sure, wasn't it?
I believe so. And his work ethic too, even in training, he just
Yeah.
does unorthodox things. And I mean, and he does know his body very well. I mean, he came back from that, career-ending injury in like what 4 months.
Yeah. I think that was the Pettis fight where he came back like right after he tripped over the wire for the one. It was the same card that Connor threw the bus through the dolly at the bus. Um,
And some people are never the same after that injury, even if they do come back. And he looked pretty good, man.
Yeah, that's one thing I gotta give to even any athlete really, but MMA fighters and boxers, man, they train like that's the hardest part, getting through all those. I think Pacquiao. I was watching this video on Pacquiao, and Pacquiao said, in one of his earlier fights, he trained like I think like 24 rounds a day. So by the time he went and fought the 12-round fight, by the end of the 12 rounds, he could go another 12. And just thinking about all the work that these fighters put in, man, it's it's a it's it's a willingness and almost drive to face and overcome adversity.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot more to it than people believe. They'd be
yeah,
like, well, they could just work on this and work on that, but in actuality, you have to work on if you're gonna be running, you gotta and your ankles ain't up for it at the moment. You gotta condition your ankles to be ready for that to avoid injury. You gotta condition your wrist. You gotta condition your tendons. It's not just muscle memory, man. It's other things that you gotta work that that you got to go through to get to that stage before they start working on strength and stuff like that, because those things can force injury, because now you got more power, now you got more speed, but your body ain't ready for it.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
that's what a lot of people that been through training has done. I think I seen something on one of the guys that worked with Michael Jordan for 15 years, and that's where he started on conditioning certain parts of his body to take the training that he was going to give him. You know what I mean? And to take the so that he can handle it without getting injured. You know what I mean? Training to avoid injury before even training them to for performance. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
yeah,
it's only
definitely.
going to benefit your performance if you're not injured. Period.
Yeah.
Because you're playing, so your stats are always up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Me and Jordan were talking about something like this. I went to massage school right when I got out of high school, and your hands would they always talked about your hands would get like really like like carpal tunnel if you didn't do stuff right. So one of the first things you learned was body mechanics, and that's how to like if you're low in your body, move with your legs or picking something up, move with your legs, or when you're massaging somebody, use like your forearms and don't like grab with your palms because you know what I'm saying, it'll start to cramp up, shit like that.
Mhm.
Just making sure that the way that you move and your posture.
It's
Um,
correct.
yes, yes. Not only that, you got those Buddhist monks over there going outside, gapping their forearms up against the tree, or even Jordan pile driving all day. His hands, my dad works on cars and his hands are just so rough, but that's just from years and years.
Yeah, I hear that, man. So you be spitting too, I see, right?
Yeah,
You be
yeah, man.
rhyming, dropping them stupid dope moves. You
Yeah,
sounded
trying
good
to.
though.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Yeah, and are you producing too? You said you're doing your own beats and stuff.
Yep, yeah, definitely.
What you working with?
Shit, man. What I'm really trying to do is put together like a whole. I gotta be honest. I'm having trouble really just getting like shit finished like I want in my head, but it's getting to a
Mhm.
point to where because this producing and writing songs is a
It's
little
it's
it's crazy.
difficult.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah, and that's
crazy.
how most people get started because they want to spit, but they can't find beats to use, so they become producers in the process,
Yeah, yeah.
and then they wind up just sticking with producing.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
now it's coming,
Or
man.
rapping.
Like when I started, I had this vision, but still, man. Even after learning producing, man, that's why I tell everybody, chase your dreams, man. Because like once you get to a certain point, the way you vision it in your head's never how it's gonna be. But the thing is like if we all keep working hard, the place we'll end up at it will be better than we ever could have imagined. Because the shit that I'm able to, I feel like the techniques that I have and the abilities to put stuff together is is way better than it used to be. And that's
Mhm.
just straight up from practice and
Yeah,
keeping going.
there's certain things like you said that the way you see it or hear it in your head, and then it's not how it usually is when you do it. That's not necessarily true. If you do what you do, the best thing to do is when you get those ideas, like to hum the melody and record that so
Mm-hmm.
that you remember, so that you're placing your words in the right place and or the instruments in the right place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
and
You're completely and
that way
totally
you
right.
can not lose that first idea which made it creative.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can mess something up and it can sound better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Well, you're completely and totally right. Yeah, yeah, man. I have voice memos, lines. At my other house, I got a idea book. I stopped writing it in a couple months ago, but I'd write every single idea that I had. No idea is too big or too small, and you're completely right. It's just like when the making music process goes down, there's like so many certain steps. You know what I'm saying? And then you get like latched on to things, and you're like, there's this book that says any music that you hear can be like comprehended and modeled, and if you can hear a song, you can play it.
yeah,
Just like you're saying, if you can hum the melody and turn it into a new melody. But sometimes, like, man, with me, I guess, and this is something that I'm working to get over, is like I hear it just so extravagant. And then, when I put in the first steps, it's just a process of having to keep adding and just moving forward. And I'm actually pretty comfortable where I'm at right now. I'm just not trying to rush it, and I'm just trying to love life and be as grateful as I am for just being alive. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I hear you, man. It's a passion though. It's like a passion, just like anything else. And if you got that passion, you will become successful eventually if you keep pressing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like my son, he's hardcore into spitting, and I'm always giving him tips and you know, hooking him up, and he's always just giving me his music and just letting me hear it and stuff. And he's kind of producing it and everything else. He's working, but he has a producer too, so he has a lot of fun with it. It's fun.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fun.
it
I enjoy
definitely
it.
is,
But
man.
me, I'm a little older, so I don't do it much anymore. But occasionally he'll talk me into getting on one of the songs or
Yeah.
something.
Hey, man. Well, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's cool though. But I still
Yeah.
got equipment. Like I got a HD8 downstairs that I never use.
Oh, damn.
It's a bit uh, you know, when you want them natural sounds, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Where you could just plug anything in and do certain stuff. I'm debating on giving it to my son, but he seems to like the new technical stuff, but I mean, if he gets deeper into it and he wants like natural sounds that you could just plug in, you know what I'm saying, and then
Yeah.
just do it and then sample your own sounds, then I give it up to him. But I don't want it to be collected dust, like it's collected dust here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I
Yeah.
want him to be able to use it, and then if he knows how to use it, then boom, you know what I mean? Then he could just and you could just slap it out, even though CDs are obsolete. You could just pop the CD out, or you could just hook to your computer that has the program, you know, for for you to hook it all up so that you can convert it to whatever it is you want from MP3 to
Hmm.
whatever WAV files or what have you.
Yeah, yeah, it probably has a flash drive in the back of it. Man, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I sold a Digi 002 about a year ago for like $200. Man, I didn't know how to use a recording console, and
Yeah,
it was pretty much the only thing I could do was go to the settings and make the motorized faders move. I had no idea, but I ended up getting an MPC Live, um, which is a super badass sampler, man. I wanna get a mixer, recording console sometime soon. Uh, but yeah, just using
Yo,
like
you're super low.
oh yeah, yeah, hold on, let me turn the gain up. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a lot better now.
Okay, yeah, but I want to get a recording console soon. Um, but I'm trying to just stick with DAWs and the MPC. The MPC Live's off the chain, man.
yeah. I'll tell you some of them apps. Like my son's got one on his phone, and he could literally cut. Uh, he could literally cut an album right from his phone, but he has a really like top-notch mic that he hooks
Yeah.
up directly to his phone. But it's pretty good stuff, man. And I was pretty shocked at what he was doing with it. I was just like, wow, man, technology is crazy now. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah, man, you're completely right, man. I got an iPad and I got a bunch of apps on it to where, for some reason, my audio interface when I try to plug it into my iPad, it like says for some reason it won't like recognize it. I can plug my keyboard into it, and I got a couple like synthesizer apps. Like I got a Moog, um, Moog Model 8 synthesizer and a couple other things. Quarter God Chaos Oscillator. I got GarageBand, which GarageBand can hook up with my Logic on my computer. But yeah, man, you can cut an album straight from iPad, straight from phone. Kanye
That's what's
West
up.
said something in an interview a while back to where he said like a couple of his verses off Yeezus he recorded on his iPhone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so there's a
Yo,
lot of
if you
different
want to
ways you
shout
can
out
make it.
your son's channel or whatnot, you can as well. I don't know if you want to do that though.
Oh well, he don't have a channel. I told him he could. I was like, I can edit, man. I can make the
Oh,
shit
okay.
hot, but he don't have a YouTube channel. Um, what he's doing right now is he's just building everything up before he starts dropping all his shit.
Hey man,
You
nothing
know what
wrong
I'm
with
saying?
that.
Yeah, and I gotta say he's doing a pretty good job. I'm impressed. I'm
Yeah.
impressed. But when he does, yeah, I'll be the first to let y'all know. And thanks for giving me that opportunity to shout him out on your platform.
Heck
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
No
man.
problem. That's what it's all about. Um, we'll quickly run through this and go through the rest of these last three divisions. So we went over lightweight with Khabib. I think all three of us picked Tony in the fight. However, like that doesn't mean that Khabib's that is that much worse. He's obviously undefeated, longest running champion. He's going to be in the record books for a long time, but I don't know. I think stylistically, and I think styles make matchups that Tony's got his number, and when Tony made his little weight video where he made weight, that was really awesome, and it was kind of a shot at Khabib because Khabib struggled with making weight, a lot in his career. So,
I
do
think a
y'all have,
win.
go
I
ahead.
think a win. I think a win for Tony would get him up to that upper echelon because he's kind of like that guy that things always bad happen to, or he's not getting the hasn't gotten the proper opportunities to do certain things to become mainstream. And those are the kind of guys I root for. That's why I root for Bud. You know what I'm saying? Because I see the talent there, but they're not mainstream characters. And I think that guys like, you know, you got like Conor McGregor, he could just bounce in and out of the UFC when he feels like it. And I don't think that he's on like a fucking the level of a Tony Ferguson or a Khabib. And but these guys ain't gonna blow up as big as he is because of his character outside of the ring. You know what I mean? They don't know how to promote themselves as well. So I kind of root for the guys that as a purist for the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I root for the guys with the skills to pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
Yeah.
do.
No, you're 100% right. And when I said earlier about like John Jones, and when you look at his resume, that you understand why he's champion. And
Yeah,
I said you can't really say that for everyone, but most people. And Conor McGregor is one of those ones you can't really say it for. Like, how are you, a champion at the lightweight division, and you haven't fought Tony? Like how is that possible? But I know there's a lot that went into like Tony being suspended, things like that. But still, like you said, he seems to be able to hop in and out of title fights at his when he wants to.
right, right. But that's the thing is that's the one thing that I enjoyed about watching the UFC was it wasn't so much politics, but now it's become that when they're trying to, protect their cash cow. And that's been going on in boxing for years. De La Hoya
Yeah,
had some light touches when he was coming up, where in some titles, where he didn't fight the main guys, but he did snatch up a lot of titles. Don't get me wrong, I thought he was a fantastic fighter when he was coming up, but there was certain things that certain guys did where they took, they buttered them up to make their name big. So, you know, and they didn't want to lose their cash cow in the process of putting them in a big fight. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's almost like even with WWE and boxing, man, it's almost like there's this rift between skill and personality. Personality seems to make a matter a lot more to some people, especially
Yeah.
casual fans and people that aren't really educated. Personality seems to matter more than skill, and it's like it goes through like a lot of our culture. It goes into music now. It goes into
Yeah.
UFC.
Character sells though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, you're 100% right.
And that's what it is. And I think one of the first people to really put that out there and made people realize how much it does matter was like Ali. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Where he was like, I can really become bigger if I'm vocal. and and he was, and it worked out for him where he really, I don't even think the guy even needed a promoter. He was out there promoting, doing interviews, and everything was entertaining prior to the fight. But then when he got in there, he entertained 110%. You know what I mean? He was entertaining inside and out the ring. So I felt like that was the guy. He brought controversy and everything involved. But some of the things he was doing, he was literally doing it to get people to watch. And then other things he was doing, he was true to himself. So I mean, I respected that guy so much, man. And I wish I would
yeah,
have met him, man.
yeah. He laid the blueprint
Yeah,
for all of and elevated the sport to an entirely new level. But it's like it's kind of like in a way a lot of what Ali did and has kind of like not necessarily been tarnished, but some of the like as it's grown older, like he was very pure and like a real, and I guess Conor McGregor is too, you know what I'm saying? But Ali, you know, Ali was a stand up dude, you know, he was out in his community. He was standing up for what he believed to be was right, and it was like authentic.
mm,
Nowadays it seems like people see that what Ali did, and they decide to take it to a whole nother level and try to be like something they're not, and it makes it just and it just seems so forced.
yeah. And they're using that Mayweather method, but without putting the work in that Mayweather did.
Yeah,
They want to get that tail end of his career and the beginning of their career without putting in the work to do so. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I mean, he was in there with killers in a lighter division, but when he moved up, he had lighter touches, but he earned that. You know what I mean? He earned that by beating guys like De La Hoya and guys in the lighter weight divisions, and which put him over that hump where he was talented, and then he was just like, let me rely on my skill. I'm getting older, my hands are a little more brittle, and I got to promote myself. And the way he did it was well, I could get people to dislike me if I'm gonna be the heel, then I'm gonna be the biggest heel. I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? And you're gonna pay to watch me lose, but I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless. To the point where everybody, a lot of folks, especially casual fans, were just sitting around waiting for this guy to lose while he's fighting guys like Conor McGregor and you know what I mean? Like what was his last fight? I'm trying to think of the boxer that he fought. He was kind of washed.
Was it Andre Ward?
Uh, no. It was damn, I'm trying to think of his name.
Was it
Andre
Conor
Ward.
McGregor who?
But even with Conor McGregor, like when he came in, man, he came in with a ski mask. Like I got you guys again. I robbed you guys again. Like
Yeah.
you bought this. I was dying. I thought it was hilarious, man. And I was like, because I was tuned in still. You know, even though it was a bit of a sideshow, you just want to see the guy perform and how it turns out. So it's funny to me that, you know, but I think he earned that. But these other guys, I don't see them earning it the way, like they're moving like Floyd, but they don't even have a tenth of the body of work that this guy put in to even be attempting to do this. It's just ridiculous, man. Like some of these guys are just pump faking, talking about fighting guys, and they're just to stay relevant, but they ain't making no attempt, turning down fights, and it's just like, come on, man, what's happening to the sport? Then everyone wants to bring up politics of the sport, and it's like, look, man, it's boxing first. You know, it's
Yeah.
boxing first. You know, so let's just watch. I want to see these fights happen.
Yeah,
Man.
Cam doesn't go too far into boxing, but we
Right.
can
I know.
like
Yeah, I know what
talk
he's. I
about
know what
the
he's saying. Yeah.
Haney. Yeah.
The Haney.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to like go in on that, we can talk about that because that was a huge topic throughout the boxing community was Haney. He was on an LDBC interview. Is that right? 1-2 Kid.
Yeah, he was on the LDBC interview and he made some statements that, to me, I don't feed into that. I'm one of the few guys that don't feed into that type of stuff. Like, I don't feed that any energy.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish a lot of other people practiced that because then it wouldn't be such a big thing. I mean, I don't think that it was right what he said at all, but at the same time, it's like that's just it's gonna get everybody talking about him and keeping him relevant. And I see
Yeah.
the game, so I'm not gonna sit here and feed
Especially
into
right
that
now
type of
with
stuff.
nothing
And,
going
and
on.
he's a talented kid. He doesn't really need it. You know what I'm saying? To even go that route. I don't think he's the most talented out of the younger groups. I like Shakur Stevens myself, and I'm a T.O. fan, but Haney is talented. So as for his boxing game, that's where I try to keep it. You know, I try to keep it in the boxing game. You know, itself. As
Yeah.
for the promotions and stuff, and people pulling stuff, that's the same thing. Like, what has he done to even, be a hot topic at the moment? Other than the
Yeah.
fact that he's a young up and comer and he's talented, but other than that, who has he fought?
Yeah.
So I don't feed into it that much. I know it's a hot topic. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
get you
No.
less views,
No,
but
that's
it's just
fine.
my take on it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good take. And actually, Morgan Freeman once said in an interview about racism, when asked, he said, "You want to end it, stop talking about it." So, no, that's a very wise, that's a wise point. So, yeah, we'll do exactly that. We won't talk about it at all, and I'll just give you like a general thought, and that's like I don't really care. He's a young kid. People, like it's gonna happen. Mistakes are gonna be made. Like if 2 weeks ago, everybody would have told you that Devin Haney was the most upstanding guy. He was raised right. His dad's a great influence on him, stuff like that. So, I mean, people change sides and they'll change up on you for anything, and I'm not gonna make this anything more than just like a stupid mistake. So I don't really care. I don't think anybody was really affected. But yeah, we'll go right back into let's go down to flyweight. Flyweight is Alexander Volkanovski, or however you say that. And
well, feather. Are you talking about Alexander?
Or excuse me, featherweight.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not flyweight.
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, Max Holloway and Volkanovski fought. It was a decision, but Volkanovski won that.
Max Holloway clearly he knew he lost. I mean, I like Max Holloway a lot. He's done a lot for the division. That's another guy. You look at his resume, and I mean, it's nothing but just straight, champion after champion and title fight after title fight. I mean, and when you fight Max, you better come conditioned, you better come prepared, because you're not just going to flash KO.
Yeah. Hey, 1-2 kid, did you ever see the Max Holloway Brian Ortega fight?
Nah. Like you with boxing, I watch certain fights, but I don't stick around. I don't stick around long. Like I would like to see certain fights. Like if it's on, I'll tune into it. But if I got something else popping, I'm not going to change my whole, schedule around it. That's all. I used to be hardcore on the UFC, especially when it first started.
Huge disappointment, in my opinion.
Well, he hasn't fought, but man, Max hit him in the face like 194 times in the fourth round alone. And he still had to retire in the corner. That shit was brutal. I think me and you watched that together, Jordan.
Yeah.
That was a crazy ass fight, man. That was one of those fights where you're like, damn. You kind of.
Yeah, I thought. I don't know. I thought T City was going to be the next biggest thing, but I don't know. That just kind of goes to show that you're always going to be fighting top level competition. Nowadays there is getting more into, like 1-2 Kid was saying, the politics around it, where if you can draw a bigger dollar, then you get the fight. It's kind of like Cowboy getting the McGregor fight. Like Cowboy should have never really been in that fight. And that fight means nothing to like the actual UFC, like McGregor beating Cowboy. Like that, it has no meaning right now.
Yeah, but it was just a tune-up fight for Conor, pretty much.
Yeah, but either way, just with that tune-up fight, he would have been able to go and fight for a title. Yeah. So I don't necessarily agree with that, because McGregor's not John Jones, where he had the belt stripped from him due to outside things, not somebody in the ring.
Yeah, he kind of got that ass whooped.
Yeah, Conor McGregor got exposed, so I don't know. But yeah, we've got Alexander. I think he's going to stay there. My biggest question is, will Henry Cejudo, the bantamweight champion right now, is he ever going to make that move up and challenge for the first ever 3-division belt holder?
Well, he got stripped of the flyweight belt, which is vacant right now because Joe Benavidez, I think that's it. Joseph Benavidez fought some other guy. The other guy missed weight, so he wasn't eligible for the title. Then they fought anyway, and just Benavidez
ended up getting knocked out.
Yeah, got knocked out in like the second round or something. So the flyweight title is vacant. Henry Cejudo was supposed to fight Jose Aldo at bantamweight, but due to the coronavirus shit, Jose Aldo couldn't get out of Brazil, so Dominic Cruz decided to fill in.
Oh yeah, dude, that's actually going to be a great fight. And I actually, you know what? I think Cejudo is going down, man. I think that's the end for him. I think that Dominic Cruz comes in there. I think that he's going to dominate him. I think his technique and I don't know, just his long frame is going to win the fight against Cejudo. What do you think?
Well, Dominic Cruz hasn't fought 3.5 years after losing to Cody Garbrandt, and he's automatically getting a title shot ahead of Jose Aldo. it's kind of one of those Conor McGregor type things, but I don't know. Henry Cejudo beat up Marlon Moraes, but Dominic Cruz is a beast. I don't ever want to count him out. I'll give it to Dominic too.
Okay, yeah, same here. Yeah, no problem. 1-2 kid, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for showing support.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
All right, so yeah, you kind of broke down the flyweight division as far as the vacant belt, but due to the missing weight and getting knocked out, so the belt is vacant. Who's gonna I don't think, is Henry gonna go down to challenge for that, or
I know that he's fighting that bantamweight title, and they'll probably
he's defending at bantamweight, but I don't know if he's gonna go down after that.
might. You never know, man. You never know.
I think for money wise for him, I would move up to flyweight. I think he can do it, but I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
It might be
Him
too big of a stretch.
If he can beat Dominic Cruz, depending on which Dominic Cruz he gets, if he can beat top level Dominic Cruz, Volkanovski's a beast, man. He's bigger. He's like 5'7", but he's a fucking beast, man. So I don't know if Henry Cejudo is going to be able to beat up Volkanovski, and I damn sure don't think Cejudo could beat up Max Holloway.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, you're right. I don't think. I think he just needs to stay between bantamweight and flyweight, but who knows?
Holloway's like 5'10", dude, and Henry Cejudo's like 5'4".
Yeah, but Holloway is a skinny flyweight. But let's move to the women's division. We have at featherweight Amanda Nunes. Her last fight, she KO'd Chris Cyborg.
No, she fought Jermaine Durandamy.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. She won.
She actually fought 2 times since Cyborg. She fought Jermaine Durandamy, and then Holly Holm. She fought Holly Holm. And
it was the Holly Holm rematch. You're right.
Yeah.
But Amanda Nunes also is a 2 division champion because she also holds the bantamweight belt.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, she holds the bantamweight belt as well. I think that might be where she went. Let me look her up.
Can you turn your mic up a little bit? I can't.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't.
Okay. Yeah. But, keep going like further and further out.
Am I good right here?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. Yeah, she fought Holly Holm at bantamweight, then Jermaine Durandamy at bantamweight. So Chris Cyborg was the last one she fought at featherweight. Then she defended bantamweight twice, and then I think she might be fighting Felicia Spencer. Nunes is expected to face Felicia Spencer on May 9th, 2020 at UFC 250.
Now, what's going on with Cyborg? I know she was really unhappy. She's always been really unhappy with Dana White, but what's going on with her situation? Does she get back into a title shot, or is she done?
I think she went over to Bellator, and I don't know if she's the featherweight champion of Bellator.
Yeah. So you don't ever see her coming back to the UFC at all?
I don't.
You think that Dana White incident's just too much?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's still talking shit about UFC too. So.
Yeah, well, she's always done that. And I don't think she's ever really been clean in her career ever. But at flyweight, you have Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, Shevchenko.
Yeah, Shevchenko, whatever. That's a badass bitch right there, man.
Oh, dude, yeah, she's
she's kind of crazy. I don't. Is she gonna fight Zhang Weili ever, or?
I think there's going to be a couple more fights to go before they're talking about that. I think Zhang Weili might fight Rose Namajunas if Rose Namajunas gives through with this Jessica Andrade fight. But yeah, I think Zhang Weili has a couple more to go. She might even rematch Joanna. Joanna was saying they need to make some big money and pay her for the next fight. But I think I think Zhang's got a little bit more to go before she moves up because Valentina's I think Valentina knock her ass out.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I don't see anybody really. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but just seeing how much Whaley kind of she didn't really struggle because she made her look like a freaking alien or whatnot with that freaking huge swelling on her forehead.
Hematoma?
But yeah, I mean that was hard to watch, man, especially towards the end of the fight because the entire time she's getting hit, they're like showing the slow replays of it, like flow, like you can just see all the blood flowing around and like that huge freaking swell, and you're like it's gonna pop at any moment, and it's just gonna be the worst thing ever. But even the next day, she looked terrible, and hopefully she recovers well and everything. But that right there's got to take years off your life.
Yeah, real shit.
Like that was one of the more gruesome fights. But one thing you got to say, man, is she would not go down.
Oh
Dude.
no, dude. Yeah, that was. Yeah,
Oh, that
was
was
nuts, man.
yeah. I don't know. She's a beast. And then the last division would be strawweight with Zhang Wei Li. She's I don't know. I don't see anybody beating her at strawweight. She was a big question mark coming in, just like any Asian fighters usually are, because they're really hyped up. They've got a lot of wins, and you don't really know about the level of competition. So I don't know. Do you think she's the real deal? Do you think that she's going to be beaten? How do you feel?
She's definitely the real deal. But Rose Namajunas is still a badass. And there's a couple girls that she needs to kick some ass before she can move up. She's undisputed champ for a reason. That last fight was super badass, and if her next fights are anything like her last fight, I'm not give a fuck about that shit.
It was anything like her last fight?
Yeah, Joanna. So sports, what's your beef with Battle Rifle?
I said, so sports, what's your beef with me? This is a guy from the UGC channel. He would like call in, and he would just immediately start screaming at Black about like a whole bunch of like gay shit, and I don't know. That's what I really remember him from, and I've seen him like on a whole bunch of like the boxing channels that I go on, and I don't know. I just remember him from there, and I'm just like, what the fuck? But I don't know.
Dude.
I mean, I'm always going to give people a chance. I'm not going to block him, anything like that. He can even come up here. Actually, we're going to give him a link. He can come on up, and we can talk about it, whatever. But I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about him just screaming all the time. So naturally, nobody really cared for the guy. But yeah, okay. So let's go to pound for pound list for current UFC. Who's your number one?
John
Or no, we'll do it. We'll go like top. We'll just do 5. We'll do top 5 pound for pound. Hang on. I'm gonna let this guy in here real quick. Hang on.
What's up, man?
What's up?
Oh, my bad. I don't know if I don't know if he's muting it or I'm muting it. Hang on. Make sure I didn't mute him.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Staying safe out there.
Y'all good to hear. Y'all good to hear.
Yeah, so go ahead.
So you was mad at me because I snapped on UGC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not about like the more recent stuff. I remember you from a while ago. And you would just always call in and you would just like start screaming as soon as you not call in, but I guess you'd come on StreamYard and you would just start screaming about the fact that Black like is like nut hugging shit like that, and he likes it in his booty hole. Does that like ring a bell or anything like that?
You know, I only did that one time, and that's when he invited me on.
Okay, so I don't know. What is your qualms with UGC and stuff like that?
I mean, it's kind of a long story, but you know, I think it was just mostly it just came down to him not just taking me seriously. Like, don't get me wrong, like when I first came on the channel, I used to troll, but it got to a point where once we was on another channel, every time I would say something, he'll be like, "This dude trolling." I'm like, okay, first off, I'm not trolling. You're just taking this some type of way. So when I got back to his channel, he blocked me. He says he didn't block me, but he did. It was either him or his moderators. And I was like, okay, well, now you're just trying to make sure I don't get any voice at all. And then he was like, nah, bro, what you doing is you a troll. So what I did was I got on Jalik's channel and said, hey, I said, Horseman, why are you trying to make it seem like I was just out here trolling you? I was not. I was real deal giving my opinion. And Jalik muted my mic, and then that's when Horseman said a bunch of stuff out of his mouth that he rubbed me the wrong way because I couldn't respond. Jalik kept muting my mic, so basically, I had this, I had this like foul like look towards him until one day he said, "Oh man, you're just trying to be friendly now." I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to be friendly." He told me, "So we'll get on the chat and say what you need to say." And I was like, "Well, basically, I'll say what I need to say. You a coward and you a fraud. That's what you are."
All right, I got you. That's some pretty good details right there. Yeah, man. I kind of got that vibe, and I know that a lot of it probably was due to like comments in the chat and stuff like that. Like, he's a troll, he's a troll, he's a troll. So, naturally seeing you talking boxing on, other respectable channels, I will give you that. Recently, I'm like, maybe it was a different guy because there used to be a guy named like UGC Rifle. Was that you as well?
UGC rifle. I don't know who that is.
Okay, yeah, there's some guy like UGC. Oh no, it was UGC Sniper. That's who it was. So, but either way, yeah, you're all. I'm not. I'm never gonna block you here or anything like that. We're gonna do all types of different live stuff like that. You're always welcome to come on here and spit your piece. And yeah, I do apologize about saying that because I didn't know the whole story, and I can understand your point when you're like, yo, I don't, I'm not a troll 24/7. I did, mess up or whatnot, but at the same time, like when you're trying to go on and have a boxing conversation somewhere and, everybody's screaming like troll, 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 or, whatever it is, I can understand your point. So it's all good, man. But do you watch UFC at all?
I haven't recently. I've only been watching like highlights here and there.
I got you. Well, yeah, we just went through all the divisions, and we were about to do a top 5 poll. And Cam Sweezy, this is Battle Rifle. He used to be in the UGC, and he's also in the prediction league with us and all that. So, I mean, he's been around for a while. That's the only reason that I actually knew who he was the other day when I was saying some things about him. But go ahead and give your top 5. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. So give your pound for pound top 5 currently, not all time.
All right, yeah. Well, first off, ain't no mic muting around here. We keep an open channel, open debate. Pound for pound top UFC fighter has to be currently, probably will always be until he gets beat. Which I don't see that happening. John Jones, been talking about him a lot. Probably to say currently, probably got to go down the list, man. John Jones, Stipe Miocic next, or maybe Khabib. Khabib's number 1, definitely. Let's look at the pound for pound list all time. Yeah, it's probably Khabib, John Jones,
But doesn't it take him off the list now that he's like not going to be fighting in a while?
Who, Khabib or John Jones?
John Jones.
Well, I don't know. That since all this coronavirus shit going on, they haven't even said anything about that DWI or him getting taken off, or I haven't heard anything. I know that like the 31st of March, I was just looking it up, that he got house arrest or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like all taken care of, and then Dana White's been going through this shit trying to get the next UFC like get that set up, building like Fight Island. So I don't even think he's commented on John Jones and what the future of that is. But you know what I'm saying, John Jones. You never know, man. But yeah, on the list, it's John Jones #1 right here on Wikipedia. John Jones, then Khabib. So 1 and 2, John Jones, Khabib.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched UFC in a while, but Demetrius Johnson was almost one of my favorite fighters. I don't know what he's been doing lately.
No, Mighty Mouse. Yeah, Demetrius Johnson is. I don't know, Cam. Would you still have him as current pound for pound? Like, what is it, like a number 3?
Well, he was highly underrated and really underappreciated as well. He was #1 in UFC, but what happened was when Ben Askren came over here, they traded Ben Askren from 1, and Demetrius Johnson went over to 1 championship. So 1 traded Ben for Demetrius, and I think he's the flyweight champion over there. So they pretty much traded Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren, and you saw how that went down. But he's over there, and he's the flyweight champion. The only loss he's had was that bullshit decision robbery to Henry Cejudo, which since then Henry Cejudo's got double belts, triple C, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, Mighty Mouse is a beast.
Yeah. He controlled that division. How many consecutive title fight defenses did he have? Was it like 20 something or?
No, it was 11.
It was 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Maybe it was like a 20 fight win or 21 fight win streak or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was something crazy. I remember.
I think the last fight Demetrius Johnson lost was to Dominic Cruz before Henry Cejudo.
Yeah. All right. So you have. I'm assuming you put John Jones #1, correct?
Yeah, John Jones is #1. It was John Jones as 1, and then Khabib is #2.
Okay, so #1, John Jones. #2, Khabib. #3, I'm going to go ahead and put Demetrius Johnson there. Like you said, the only he's only had 1 loss, and that was to Cejudo. And aside from that, he's been flawless and perfect. I think he had some issues with Dana White because, like Battle Rifle was saying, for as long as he was champion and for as much as he's done and the way he's, been, like, you wouldn't really talk about somebody at 125 too much in the UFC, but because of him and because of what he was doing, a lot of people knew the Mighty Mouse brand and, they started paying attention. So I think he did a lot for that division. And I'm going to put him at 3. Who do you got at 3?
I could go Demetrius Johnson. It's funny because Henry Cejudo is the #3 on UFC's pound for pound right now. But yeah, overall in MMA, I'd say Demetrius Johnson.
All right. #4, do we see, the hardest thing to judge, and it even goes for boxing as well, is losses, because everybody knows about oh my god, what's his name, featherweight champion forever, Jose Aldo. There you go. Jose Aldo. I'm going to go ahead and put him at #4 just because of, again, everything he did, how long he was champion. And, he got knocked out by Conor McGregor. and it was crazy. Nobody really thought it would happen, but he did a lot. How do you feel about that?
Well, are you doing the current who your favorite fighter is currently? Who you think is
Yeah, it's
40?
current top 5 pound for pound.
Yeah, top five pound for pound currently or all time?
Oh, you're right. I was kind of doing a mixture there. So yeah, go ahead and we'll finish currently.
Yeah, currently. Well, that's Stipe Miocic right now, currently. But for me,
You what you
no,
have
that's
Stipe, or is
no,
that
for the
what you're reading?
UFC pound for pound. That's the number 4 on the pound for pound list. Yeah, it's John Jones, Khabib, Henry Cejudo, Stipe Miocic, and Israel Adesanya.
Okay, I'd put Adesanya over Stipe.
Well, I mean, Adesanya has fought Whitaker, Kelvin Gastelum, Anderson Silva, but man, Stipe Miocic, we were going over his record.
I wouldn't have him in my top 5, to be honest. I don't know. He has 3 losses, and he gave up the heavyweight belt to a light heavyweight that moved up. So I don't know. It's just not pound for pound material to me.
Cormier fought most of his career at heavyweight. He moved down when Strikeforce merged with UFC because Kane was the heavyweight champion at the time.
Yeah, because him and Kane are like best friends, and they didn't want to fight each other.
He was always a heavyweight, moving down to light heavyweight, and then moved back up to heavyweight to fight Stipe.
Yeah.
What about the welterweight guy? The
Kamaru?
No, the guy who was like had like at least like 10 title defenses, I think.
Oh, that's Anderson Silva.
No, the welterweight, I think.
Oh, George St. Pierre?
No, the black guy.
Tyron Woodley?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We broke him down earlier, but yeah, that's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC, and yeah, man, that's God, that's a good point. I'm gonna go ahead and put Tyron Woodley as number 4. I'm gonna switch that up and put Adesanya 5. Just because Woodley dominated for so long. I mean, he lost to Usman, but if there's anybody that you want to have like as a loss on your record right now, it would be Usman, because Usman, he's destroying things right now.
Yeah.
That Colby Covington fight, he beat the shit out of Colby Covington, and that was probably one of the best Colby Covingtons we've seen.
Yeah, well, he knocked him out in the 5th round. That fight was, even though Colby gets him off.
He broke his jaw.
Yeah, man, but Colby still kept fighting. He ended up getting his ass knocked the fuck out. It's crazy how Colby was talking all that shit and ended up getting a broken jaw.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was almost like it was perfect. It was like meant to happen. Like,
yeah, poetic justice.
Kamaru was like, I'm gonna shut him up, and then he ends up going in there and breaking his jaw and literally doing that. Like, having the guy has to have his mouth wired shut. So that was pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember Dominic Cruz was my favorite fighter at one point, and it's not like it's not like he was just getting hammered. I feel like, some fighters just have his number. Because Dominic Cruz is a beast, man. I don't know why people don't talk about him anymore.
Well, he's about to fight for the bantamweight title with Henry Cejudo. I think that's supposed to be the next fight coming up.
Yeah, and
okay.
Yeah, so Dominic Cruz is about to fight. Even though he hasn't fought in like 3.5 years, but he's about to fight for the title.
Why did he have such a long layoff? That's a really long layoff.
Yeah. Well, one thing with Dominic Cruz is his career. He has had a whole shit ton of injuries. Even when he came back and fought T.J. Dillashaw, and then went on that run where he fought T.J. Dillashaw, Uriah Faber, and then he fought Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt beat him. Before that little run, he was gone for from 2012 to 2014, 2015, because he just has a shit. He just plagued by injuries, man. So that's one of the reasons why he was off. He lost to Cody Garbrandt and then had just a bunch of injuries that just delayed his comeback.
Yeah, he should. Dominic Cruz is one of the few guys who can go down as the guy who avenged all his losses. So I think he should just rematch that guy, and even though he's going for the bantamweight title, because the guy I think he's levels above most of his competition as far as
Completely right. He's a smart dude, man. fight IQ through the roof.
Yeah, but we actually picked Dominic Cruz to beat Henry Cejudo just because, like you said, dude, he's been great for a long time. You know, the whole beef between Colby or not Colby Covington, what's his name? The freaking TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, that whole like dispute. He was like the what did you compare it to at one time? The rock paper scissors between the
TJ
three.
Dillashaw got beat by Dominic Cruz, and then Cody Garbrandt beat Dominic Cruz, and then TJ Dillashaw beat Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Dominic Cruz likes TJ Dillashaw, not like in that way, but I think he likes him like as a friend because it's weird their rivalry.
Yeah,
he should have just
super serious.
He should have just moved on.
Yeah, he also like defended TJ Dillashaw when like Cody was like talking about him like switching up his team and going to like find like a different trainer. And you know, Dominic was like, "Yo, that's the smartest thing for him to do. That's what you should do. Like you're only gonna like get to you're gonna peak at some point. And if you stay where you are, you're never gonna learn anything new." So he was giving him a lot of praise on it, but turns out TJ Dillashaw was roiding the whole time and really wasn't knocking motherfuckers out. So, but
there's a good number of the greats that tested. Like, I can't remember what Anderson Silva popped dirty for. I think it was after he beat Chael Sonnen, but I was like, you know, that hurt me.
I know he got popped after he fought Nick Diaz, and then I think he might have got popped after fighting Bisping. I have no idea, but I know for 100% fact he got popped after fighting Nick Diaz, Nick Diaz got popped for smoking weed, and then got suspended for like 2 or 3 years for smoking weed. And then Silva also got popped for steroids in that same fight, and he got suspended for like a year or so.
Yeah, that's it's funny that like hopefully people don't like look back and it's like, oh, fucking Diaz was roiding up, and he's just fucking smoking marijuana. So yeah. I don't know. Happy 420 day to all the people out there who are smokers or whatnot. Stay safe.
Oh, it is 420. I totally forgot. Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, that was let's go ahead and just do the top pound for pound all time. Let's just do we'll do a top 5, and you can go ahead and start it off, Cam.
Well, my top favorite fighter of all time has to be Anderson Silva. Just growing up watching him kick ass, dude, was unbelievable, man. Second favorite fighter, to be honest, and it's just because of how amazing his fights are, Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje is a super badass fighter as far as like having like awesome fights. Number three, I'd have to give it to John Jones. That's just I just love John Jones. Number 4, Conor McGregor. And
for pound all time.
Well, my favorite.
Oh, okay, your favorite. Okay.
Yeah, pound for pound all time. John Jones, of course, is number 1. Khabib second.
Okay.
George St. Pierre third. Anderson Silva fourth. And shit. Who would be 5th?
Oh no, I'll go ahead and also. Yeah, I'll put Renzo Gracie as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will put number 2 as Anderson Silva. Number 3, John Jones. Number 4, St. Pierre. And then number 5, this is going to be a hard one to choose on, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? I'm going to give it to Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
Just because of how dominant she's been.
I think I can try to come up with one if I'm trying to wing it. Since I don't know as much UFC fighters, I'll just go off what I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I'm going top 5 pound for pound, and before I do that, did John Jones fight at light heavyweight?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
So he didn't fight at heavyweight.
Nuh-uh.
No.
Okay. Okay, I'd say. Wait, it's kind of hard though because I'm trying to figure out who moved up in weight and who moved down in weight. Or
Well, John Jones, he stayed at light heavyweight. There's been a lot of talk. We actually talked about this earlier too, but there's a lot of talk about, he's putting out little feelers about going up to heavyweight. But yeah, he's never actually gone up to heavyweight. But who you're talking about, I think, is Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier moved from heavyweight to lightweight and then to heavyweight. So I think that's who you were talking about.
yeah, because I think it judges better who was on the pound for pound list if they moved up. But if I'm gonna wing it, I'd just say number 1 would probably be John Jones. Number 2, maybe George St. Pierre. Number 3 would probably be Dominic Cruz. Number 4, maybe Matt Hughes, I guess.
That's not bad.
And number 5, I'd say, I guess I could put Demetrius Johnson in there for number 5.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah, it's not a bad list at all, man. But yeah, I think if you want, we can go ahead and wrap up the UFC portion. Sweezy, do you want to spit something else, and we'll head out after that and go ahead and end up the live stream? It's been almost like 2 hours. It's almost been like 3 hours counting the other one that we had issues with. But if you want, go ahead and spit a little something. Let them know, and we'll fucking ride out. And I don't know, we'll go live maybe tomorrow talking about other issues or whatnot.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
yeah, thanks for coming aboard Battle Rifle and like explaining everything.
Nice talking to you, man.
Is it's definitely needed more. And sometimes when you're typing things, they can be I don't know, taken wrong if you're like trying to be funny or whatever, and people like get in their feelings and things like that. So but yeah, appreciate you coming on, clearing up everything. And yeah, you're like you said, you're gonna continue to improve on the trolling and all that, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, we're not gonna block people over here or anything like that. There's not gonna be anything that we're not like.
Yeah, we'll engage, man.
We appreciate.
Yeah, it's good that you brought me on though, because I would have had a platform to speak.
Yeah, man. Well, you always got a platform here, man.
You sound very familiar, guy in the middle. Are you man? You sound very familiar.
My name's Cam Sweezy. I'm also a rapper. Not very, a highly unsuccessful one.
You sound like a guy I know by the name of PK Boxing and MMA. I think his name was.
No, I have no idea. Yeah, I'm Cam Sweezy, man, straight out of Pensacola, Florida.
I'm from Florida too.
Oh, for real? Where at?
Jacksonville.
Oh, okay. You a little bit of the ways.
Y'all just opened your beaches.
What was that?
I said you just opened your beaches in Jacksonville, actually.
Yeah, they did. They did just open them. And it's 420. I don't know how that's gonna play out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But even then, Jacksonville is just a little ways away from the beach, just a little.
Yeah, we live in Pensacola, so we got beaches right around the corner. Yeah, beach life around here, man. We're still closed. How long are we supposed to be closed for, Jordan?
I'm not sure as far as the beaches go. I think they put in or Santa Rosa County put in a petition, so I'm sure it's going to be soon. I know that we had like a decrease in virus, like as far as it like coming up or getting worse. So it has to reach like a certain level for them to actually like lift the ban on going to beaches or whatever. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I know that if anything, if there's going to be any state that's going to be up first, it's going to be Florida. But yeah, go ahead.
What, you want me to lay something down for him?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right, right before we go, Sporting Advantage, 420 podcast. We got Battle Rifle in here. We got Cam Sweezy, but goes a little something like you've heard of this one, Jordan. It's the beginning of the end. A bittersweet good riddance to a friend. One more moment you will never get again. A snake will always shed its skin. Messing up my credit, forever indebted, but $10 forgives me of my sins. It's what it said on Channel 10. I don't like the feeling of being misleaded. You don't need to read the fucking secret to see or believe it. Leave them speechless when I speak with intriguing uniqueness. Feed the phoenix, be the beacon of human achievements. Back up at it and I'm better than ever, ready to kill any successor quick like Nebuchadnezzar. My heart is made of steel, setting off metal detectors, finessing whoever, bitch, I could win at chess with a checker. Drop more knowledge than a college professor's entire second semester within a second or lesser. Married to the game, we'll be together forever. Am I a civil protector or just a victim oppressor? I'm a hothead with a cold heart all the time. I'ma get mine like a lone shark. I'ma go hard at your skull with a crowbar. Spit poison like I hit you with a blow dart. Drive by, peel off in a golf cart. Never known any fast life with a slow start. Flow grows when I mix it with a lost arts. What's built will put them out of business like a Walmart. Hit the beat and then I knock it out of the ballpark. And I keep on smoking till I'm toasted like a Pop-Tart. Got a big mouth, long tongue like a aardvark. And they scared like a mailman hearing dogs bark. Pull cards like I'm shopping at a Hallmark. Hit them with a dumb if they want to talk smart. 3-piece drop them, then I finish with an arm bar. Cut them off quicker than the cameras on a cop car. I got mountains to climb, I'm drawing a line. Whoever fucking crosses it dies, I won't be denied. Could land a plane and stop on a dime. With patience of mine, I'll kill them all one at a time. Unstoppable forces collide, truth and music combine, removing the confusing, abusive illusions of pride. I don't think I'm divine. I just know that fate will decide if I have a purpose or place inside the greater design. I'm not defined by the things that I didn't, by the games I played that I didn't win, but by the strength I find within, the drive to try it again, the faith in things unseen or the things I don't comprehend, the yang and the yin carried like the dust in the wind. It's simple and plain, changing lanes and breaking the chains, no playing it safe, taking every day and making it great. It's not a person, place, a thing, it's just a way you can think, and I won't let it fade away, man, that's a fatal mistake. It ain't a debate.
Yeah, bro, that was badass. Good shit,
Bars. That dude went 5 fingers of death on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little something.
Hell yeah. Well, once
Just
again,
a little something.
yeah, we're gonna. I mean, like I said, 2020 is gonna be our year. We're gonna grow. We're gonna continue to get better, and we're gonna slowly, show everyone our skill set, and it's going to be great. So I appreciate everybody that was here throughout the live. Appreciate everybody that came on the panel. 1-2 Kid, Battle Rifle, Cam Sweezy, and this was the 420 podcast. Y'all be safe.
All right, holla at you, Battle Rifle.